members of the party, wearing big floppy trench coats not our own, chasing each other through the crowds. Someone would approach us, not territorial or angry, honestly just wanting to understand. Excuse me, you're wearing my, is that, maybe? And we'd run off screaming and hitting each other, laughing. We found a plastic disc of pills in a pocket of one of the coats we put on. It opened up like a Polly Pocket. Someone knew they were birth control pills. We swallowed them all. Ate them and laughed about what would happen. There was a ring of different color pills in the center of the disc that we figured were the strong ones. And I took one of those, expecting more of whatever it was we were expecting. They were maybe the placebos that were eaten on an off day. We knew nothing. Someone said Timothy Leary was there. We didn't really know who that was, but he represented something that had come before us. Let's get him. We looked for him and wouldn't stop, asking the different hippies, have you seen Timothy? We're looking for Timothy. Stoned hippies watched on, appreciative and impressed by our look and our energy. There was honestly no judgment. They're looking for Timothy, entirely unfazed and bored, mildly entertained. One of them's wearing my coat. We couldn't find him, and we wouldn't stop, and were enthused, even angry at the situation. What would we have done with Timothy Leary? Thanks.
Lovely.
What year did you leave SF?
I guess 2000 I left, right when it was getting kind of techy, right when the first tech started, I think. Is that when first tech started, when everything went sour?
No,
99.
I date this dude that's like 83, and he said there actually was this IBM thing that happened in 1986 that no one ever recollects. But that was also
That was the beginning?
Yeah. But it was because our bands played a show together.
Imperial Teen and
Panty Ray.
Oh, right.
Right, because I was thinking about that on the way here. It was 2000?
It must have been before 2000, I think.
Okay, I don't remember the years anyway. And what I want to ask is, do you ever, like, what exactly do you miss about SF? Is it like something that's very physical, like a kind of landscape kind of thing, or is it just specifically a time period and people?
Good question. Yeah, it's such part of the impetus of writing this book too was like to really document an era that a lot of us who were here, we all lived. And it was such a special time, you know? It was so crazy. Like, I tried to capitalize that in that story because it was just like the stuff that we would do was so nuts. And it wasn't just us, it was the air and it was the feel and the drugs and like what we were doing as kids and what we did as a community and the politics of it was so special. A lot of it was kind of that. I felt like the politics. I had moved up here from Los Angeles, and Los Angeles in comparison when I moved up, I mean, as a kid, it's like really sparkly and bubbly and like, you know, entertainment industry. And when I was a kid, it was like people would go there to become tan and actors and actresses. And just in comparison, like San Francisco, when I got it was just like dark. You know, it was like goth kids with like white makeup and like dark hair and, you know, weird like crystal meth and drugs and bicycle messengers. And it was like, I don't know, just generally it's that. It's just that era that I really miss, that I kind of like was the impetus, like I said, for writing the book, because I just felt like I had to get it down on paper. It was just important for me.
But also, like, don't you feel like you're more likely to wear a trench coat here? Like, you would just sweat your balls off in LA?
Very true.
It's totally regional.
Yeah.
What year did you come from, Los Angeles?
I moved up in 1981.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so you didn't kick it with any of the punks in LA? Because I mean, they had there was some shit going on, right? Like,
I mean, kind of, we were going to shows and stuff, but I was like pretty young, like I was 17. Like Billy went to a lot more punk rock. We moved up here at the same time. Billy went to a lot more punk rock shows when we were younger. But for sure we were getting into it then. But even, it's funny, Billy, I was saying the other day, like comparing like the music that was punk rock there, like even in Los Angeles, like at that time, like some of the bands that we were playing were like the Go-Go's, who I love the Go-Go's, and like the Dickies. It was really poppy and upbeat. You know, and then we got here and it was like, whoa. It wasn't that at all. It's real dark here. You know, and the weather, you're right, the trench coat, like the weather is just like fucked up and dank and it smelled funny. And everyone was a little bit ugly, you know? But that's coming from Los Angeles because we were kids and we were just like had grown up and like, tan, pretty people, you know, and the contrast couldn't have been more extreme, you know.
I do often say, like, when the tech moved in, I do think all the pretty boys went to LA, because you look at Rent Men now, and it's just like, wow. Sorry.
Meanwhile, back in the States.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch. So, was it hard? Like, okay, you said you were in LA reading this book. Like, was it hard doing it, like, kind of in front of your family? You kind of go in with the drug stuff.
Yeah.
Like really, really in, which I like. I don't know. I think it's a really good balance because it's like, I don't know. Sometimes when I read about drug stuff, people make it just like, they make it seem like drugs aren't fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and they are at first. It's like, you know, you gotta capture both the euphoria and also what is like really dark about it, and I think you gotta really balance. But also, it's like, I don't know, it's something that, you know, I think would be really hard for like family to hear. Like, how did you negotiate writing about that, or what you would write about, or what you would read about?
Right, I think like my family, like we're pretty, they're pretty up to speed on the drug thing. They know everything about the drug thing, and that was like, but you're absolutely right, like the drug thing, I think my sort of like, my process of going through writing stuff down was like, really, my voice was just like, no shame. I don't feel bad about anything, you know, and I'm not going to apologize for anything. And what I did as a kid was like, I was a crazy little kid. I was a rabid little monkey, like I was saying, you know. It would be like, with drugs and with like, you know, sex, I was, you know, pretty feral. But no apologies. That was my sort of like tone throughout most of what I was writing. Like, I'm not gonna apologize for anything I'm doing. But my sisters, like, for sure, they all knew about the drug stuff. But like, what they didn't know so much was the like having sex in bushes. So those are like, I mean, and that's quite a reveal. You know, that's a lot to put out there. I'm aware of it, and I'm, again, no shame, but that was a big sort of, like, it was just a conversation, really. Yeah. We talk about, like, I have these, we have relatives in the Midwest, and they're kind of Christian people, you know? And, I think they will probably stumble onto this book. They'll be, like, proud of the fact that, like, oh, Cousin Roddy has written a book. And, you know, with Thanksgiving coming, I just want to ruin their fucking
I'm gonna ask one more, and I think maybe you should get into the second part of the reading. I'm always obsessed about just like physical spaces and where clubs used to be. Like looking at that old flyer, like Club Foot. I'm like, where the fuck was that? Like, the what?
22nd and 3rd. Yeah.
Third.
Oh yeah. Almost Hunter's Point. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Really? Can you remember 5 clubs and where they were at?
Yeah.
Well, like that one, of
Def
course,
Club.
really good. That was kind of cheating, but I mean, that one, I-Beam on Haight Street. On Broadway was right here. Fat Mab was right here. Tool and Die on Valencia. Tool and Die was really special. Sound of Music. I was gonna say that at the end, I didn't have to.
Where was Sound of Music?
Sound of Music was rad. Sound of Music was on Turk Street. It was so fucked up. That's where I played the first Faith No More show. Was Sound of Music.
Across from Aunt Charlie's.
Is it?
I think Tool and Die was the first one.
No, it's right
and
next
Die
to
is
the
now-
blue.
No, the first one I played for sure was Sound of Music. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess it was. You're right.
But where was, it was what's Aunt Charlie? Where's that? Is that
Turk and Taylor.
Turk and Taylor? Yeah.
And Fab Map reopened.
It was on the same side of the
Same
street.
location.
It was a little farther
on the
up,
same
used
side
to
of
be
the
the club there, but blue and gold, all the African American kids would be dancing there, and then all the queens lived in the hotel across there, and that was right where that was.
Like above Sound of Music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived
What about 181 Club too? Remember that place we used to go there? Yeah. For some reason we got in there with no IDs. We would go there. That was a good one.
I-Beam was later.
I-Beam was later, yeah.
Savoy Tivoli.
Savoy Tivoli, good one.
Embarcadero.
Good one. Oh yeah, that was a good one. But that was a weird one, wasn't it? Embarcadero.
Actually, the other time I went there really was to see Sister Double Happiness
Yeah.
open for Butthole Surfers.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it was good. I
Oh, that's
lived
a
with
great
up on
one,
this
huh?
riser. It was amazing.
Yeah.
She was so beautiful.
All right, so I'm going to read another passage, and then we're going to do something else. You guys, thanks again so much for being here.
Thank you.
So a lot of the stuff that I wrote about in the book is a lot about people. Like here we all are. We're all in this book, and we're all here today. It's so special. One person that was really fun to write about was Courtney. We've been friends since we were young, and we're still friends. And she's a really fun person to write about because she's, out of her fucking mind. And again, in the way that my writing process was, it was really fun to write about her because a lot of people don't like her. And it's fun to throw that in people's faces, right? Because I can only treat her as a hero, the hero that she is to me. So I'm going to read a little bit about her.
All right.
We met Courtney through Deanne, who'd moved recently to San Francisco from Long Beach. Deanne was a punk rocker and was friends with 45 Grave. She was a hairdresser, she used to do water ballet, and she was getting into the Grateful Dead. That part bears repeating. She was a hairdresser, she used to do water ballet, and was getting into the Grateful Dead. That was an unheard of trajectory, and it fascinated us as kids. She had her own car, also an anomaly, and hovered around, initially like a comfortable cat. It was the first time I'd smelled patchouli. At first it's exotic, like a clove cigarette, and then it makes you sick. Deanne brought Courtney to a show we played at the Fab Mat. Courtney came there fresh from Japan, where she'd been stripping or hostessing or something. That part was never clear. She was wearing a wedding dress. That's how she entered my life, in a dirty rock club in a wedding dress. She told me she would be our singer. She'd made that decision after watching us play and pushed me against a wall, her face close to mine, her eyes so wide. She came to our apartment that next day and immediately got into it with Vivian, our landlord. There was an issue with the front gate of the apartment building and the way that the gate slammed. It was so loud, it shook the entire building, and for the other tenants, it was a constant thing. Don't slam the gate. Courtney slammed it right away. She did it immediately after being told not to. In Vivian's face, and then every other time she went through it. Her energy was chaos, like a person with too many arms. Too many words, too many points to make. Her references and allusions never stopped. She was things she was not, full of contradictions. She was rich, she was poor, she had family, she was an orphan, she had friends, she had enemies. She'd tell the story